Hi everyone, Namaskaram. So I hope you're all doing well and staying safe and staying indoors and taking care of yourselves. So it's been a while since I made a video. So today I thought I'll talk a little bit about the Hatha Yoga practices and one simple technique that you can use to make sure that your practices are evolving. Now, a lot of time, after people have done workshops and they've learned a particular practice, whether it's Surya Kriya or yogasanas or even Angamadana, a lot of times they come back with a lot of questions about the practice, since we go into great detail about the different aspects of the practice and we get into really fine and minute corrections. So often a lot of people come back with this concern that they're not able to the body is not able to evolve, and those corrections that they had in the while they were attending the workshop, those aren't really going away. So even after a few weeks of practice, they're still struggling with the same corrections. And one of the things that we always, all the Hatha Yoga teachers always recommend you highly do is also part of the program actually, this practice of the process of visualization that we teach you. Now, you would have seen this in a Surya Kriya or a Yogasanas workshop. We make sure that you visualize the entire practice when you're doing it. And the reason we're making you visualize this is because it's a very powerful technique. It's not simply about you getting the practice or memorizing it in that sense, but it's also a very powerful technique in which you use your mind to evolve the body. Now, if you find that, there's a tendency, of course, once you've learned the practice, you want to sort of just do the practice. You don't really want to spend those few minutes, sitting in at the siddhasana and visualizing the practice before you do it. I also understand often that, you're crunched for time, so you find that you're not able to devote that time to visualization. But I would strongly urge you to spend some time doing visualization. I can vouch for this from my own personal experience as well. It's been about 3 years since I learned Surya Kriya. I still visualize it each time I do it. And it doesn't take too long. It takes a few minutes, for you to just before the practice, you sit and you visualize yourself doing the entire practice. You, especially the aspects that you're struggling with, if you find that, your heels are not touching on the ground in Parvatasana, then just make sure you're visualizing all these things. Visualize yourself with as much focus and involvement as you can, and visualize yourself in the perfect posture. And I know these are things that are hard for us to grasp, that how can just simply visualizing a practice have an impact on my actual physical body. But you will definitely notice this. You will notice that the evolution of your practice will, the progress that will happen will be enhanced. And specific corrections that you're struggling with, if the body is not yielding, if you visualize it, that will help as well. So yeah, in fact, I also want to share that, during the Hatha Yoga teacher training, whenever there was times that, you're dealing with an injury or you're unwell and you're unable to do the practices. So our teachers always told us to sit and close our eyes with our palms facing downwards in Ardha Siddhasana and visualize the entire practice. And there were times when I was really struggling with my health, and I remember there were times where I was just spending the entire morning session just sitting and visualizing the practice. And I can't tell you how powerful visualization alone can be as well. So just make sure that you're visualizing the practice. If at all there is something has come up, you just don't have time to do your practices, at least you can visualize the practice. Now, this is not, a pass to get out of doing your practices, but this is in case, it's impossible for you to do your practices on a certain day. Make sure you at least visualize the entire practice. That also has phenomenal impact on your system. So yeah, just this video to tell you about the importance of visualization. And Sadhguru's spoken extensively about how powerful the technique can be. So definitely employ this in your Hatha Yoga practices as well. So make sure you visualize the practice along with doing your sadhana. Yes. Thank you. Namaskaram.